Hello and welcome to the Smart Marketer podcast. Thanks as always for joining us. We are here on our new live set in my hometown of Danville, Kentucky with one of my favorite people, Mr. Bennett. Yeah. What is up, my friends?
Nothing much. Good to be here. This is so cozy. I want to take a nap in the middle of the podcast.
Well, maybe we could facilitate that after we're done. You take a nap before you drive back to Lexington.
I will do that for sure. That sounds great, honestly.
So Ben is our amazing creative director here at Smart Marketer, which essentially means that he controls and manages everything that goes down with our paid traffic creatives for clients and also internally with our media buyers. Ben, you've had a really cool journey to this place. Yeah, you just want to recap that for people that haven't heard from you before?
Yeah, I would love to. It's been a really cool journey. I'm super grateful for it, first of all. I mean, it is something that, I feel like God's faithfulness to just bring me here in this place has been really cool. And I'd love to just tell you, thank you, first of all. I'm so glad to be here on this podcast. It is a full circle moment and it's just a really cool opportunity. So I graduated college with a Spanish degree. So just like everybody else that works in marketing, graduated with a Spanish degree, right?
Right down the street from
here. Right down the street from here at Center College. So I graduated with an expensive degree and I knew how to speak Spanish and that's about it. So I got I loved photos and videos though. I always loved being creative and specifically through the camera. That was my thing. I thought I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Tough basically are now.
Basically am, yeah. Tough to do in Danville, Kentucky though, in terms of making films. So Facebook ads was a great transition. So I started working for a distillery here in Danville, which was just an amazing experience and had really good people around that allowed me to learn and to grow there. I'm super grateful for that time. And then after that, just looking for something new, and along comes Molly, and I was like, "Hey, Molly!" She had kind of been mentoring me through a mentorship group, and basically teaching me everything I know digital marketing wise. And then and I was like, "Hey, I'm looking at moving on, and I'm looking at freelancing. Please, can I just ask that you help me not go hungry and broke?" And you said, "Yeah, no problem. We got your back." And I took that in faith and said, "All right, let's do it." So I kind of jumped in, and then she said, "Hey, we actually have a position for you here at Smart Marketer as a junior media buyer." And I was like, "Never done that, but I would love to." And so pretty quickly they learned that I wasn't much interested in media buying or any good at it.
But you needed to understand
I did, yeah.
At least how it went down.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
sets you up for your role now.
It was really good because the people like Dennis and Dilyana and all the other media buyers were really good to me in terms of teaching me things that I didn't know or that I didn't pick up in TMTP. And then also they realized pretty quickly that whereas I wasn't too much help media buying, I was a lot of help for them on the creatives. So they pretty quickly stopped asking me to turn on and off campaigns and then asked me to start giving them creative. So that's what I did.
Yeah, and we saw that was so much your thing. I mean, you
Totally.
Intuitively understood that more than anyone I've ever seen. And now here we are 3+ years later, I think.
Yeah.
And you're running a whole department with creative strategists, designers, editors, servicing clients, really setting the standard for how Smart Marketer does paid creative. And that's really what we're going to share over the next 2 episodes, especially with all of the new meta updates. Things are changing so quickly and you are so adaptable, right? And
trying to be.
I think that just a few things, guys, before we go into sort of the state of paid creative right now, especially on meta, a few things I want to point out about your journey. I do find that creative directors like you that have some media buying experience usually have more success than someone that's just coming from the creative standpoint, because you cannot remove the media buying from this, right? So Ben is not in our organization setting the SOPs for how we do media buying, but you have the foundation to understand it enough where you can meet in the middle with Dilyana and Dennis, who manage the media buying. And the new analogy that we're using is Like, you guys are chefs in the kitchen, right? You are deciding the menu together and how we do this together. And I think that is really, really important that you had that background.
Yeah, it's even more so. Every day it's becoming more and more important, right? Because everybody's saying it. We've said it before. Creative is the new media buy. Like it's so attached to how your ad account is doing that I need to be able to look in the accounts and see the results just as well as a media buyer, even though I might not be the one setting up campaigns or doing the day-to-day activities. So.
Absolutely. And, in this episode, we're really going to touch high level. Where are we in the creative world? What should everybody out there be thinking about? And then in part 2, we're going to get more process driven. This is a question I'm getting asked on, almost every call I'm on, whether it's clients or mastermind students. Molly, okay, I understand there needs to be a higher volume of creative than ever before for platforms like Meta. How the heck do I do that?
Great question.
And it still be meaningful and still allow me to hit the business, the metrics that I need to hit to grow my business. So, it's crazy to even look, I'm looking 13, 14 years back, as a media buyer on Meta. You're looking, 4 or 5 years back. And even in your career, to see how this has changed, can you speak on that a little bit?
Totally.
Where, we used to be able to get by with a few good ads every month.
Absolutely.
And now, especially with the Andromeda update, earlier this year with Meta, and really where Meta, and it's not just Meta, all of these paid traffic platforms are continuing to move in the direction of AI. They're continuing to say, we want media buying to be easier for all of you. So we're going to make it simple. Less campaigns. You give us more assets, we will give you better results. Yeah. Well, it doesn't always work that way, right?
It doesn't.
And that's really, what we want to discuss here in this episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good set the scene. And yeah, it has changed a lot since I've started. I mean, I just personally know that it used to be the case that you were obviously you always had a certain level of volume that was necessary, but you were really like hunting for like huge winners, right? An ad account could blow up off of a couple of different ads. Now that's still the case. But now it's like, where we need to build that foundation so much wider now with a bunch of ads that are around the target, meeting the target, destroying the target. It's just, it requires so much more inventory than it used to. Even in my short career, I've seen that happen.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And, I think that part of this is stuff that we've always known and that we'll get into, hooks, avatars, but it is really this machine that is Meta that continues to need to be fed, right?
Yeah,
it is a very hungry baby nowadays.
Absolutely.
And there is also a way in which this can be overdone. Before we started recording, you and I were discussing a client who we love that we've been working with for a few years. And the first few years were like gangbusters. Like they were growing. It was a very simple team on their side. The founder was basically working directly with us. They were, producing pretty solid creatives. We were producing pretty solid creatives, but it was a simplified model, right? And then all of this comes out about Meta changing this year.
Yeah.
And they sort of shift to the other side of the pendulum, which we are seeing so many people do. And they think that this means, we need to go from 5 to 10 really thought out creatives every single month to 100 that have very slight and not meaningful variation to them.
Yes.
Smart marketer agency, here are all these assets. Test. Why aren't you testing them all, right? And then coming to us, and when we do test all of them, because that is what they have requested, of course, the overall ROAS, the overall business metrics in the account are going down because we are needing to shift so much of the overall budget to the testing of these creatives. Yeah. And a lot of them are not meaningful. And then now this is creating tension because the business is not growing in the way that it wants to. We are frustrated because it's actually too many creatives, right? No one is hitting their goals.
Yeah.
But this is happening because in the marketplace right now, this is the discussion.
Yeah.
Volume, 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 volume. What do you see when it comes to this discussion? Like, how do you handle this with our clients, Ben?
It's a really good question. We're still figuring it out. We're trying to increase our volume every single day. But when you have a process that has been working, and you hear, I get it. Every expert out and their mom out there is saying like, hey, we need 1 million creatives a week. And
is your mom saying that?
My mom, she will not stop calling me saying we need more creatives in the ad account. I had to block her on my phone. I'm just kidding. I would never, ever do that to my mom. If you're listening to this, please, I apologize. She doesn't. Anyway, I get it. I get the need to change your whole process and go to volume, right? I would say that the way that we're thinking about it is that if you speed up a process that you don't already have really figured out and working, you're going to multiply the percentage that you're off. Right? You know, if you have a bunch of creatives, some of them are really good, but a huge percentage of them are off. If you just multiply that by 10, you might not even multiply the number of good creatives. You're just going to end up creating more bad. And that is not going to magically turn around the results, right? And that's the part of the conversation. The people that I think are doing really well in this setup, have invested a lot more into their creative process. It just has to take more investment. It has to take more people, time, money, whatever you want to call patience for absolutely. Yeah. And you know, it can feel hard because, you know, you're pressed, right? The urgency, like we need 15 creatives a week. Yeah. That is a stressor that you're saying, okay, now
you feel behind.
Absolutely. Yeah, you absolutely do. And my advice would be, just on a personal level, like don't speed up for the sake of speeding up because that is the new thing, right? If you're putting ads in front of people that aren't going to make them feel something or respond emotionally, or you're not using something psychological to trigger a desire within them, it's still not going to work.
No.
You're never going to put the wrong image in front of the right person and get a conversion, right?
Well, and it's actually the opposite of where platforms like Meta are going or why these changes are happening, period. You know, you think about, all right, we are in a new era of marketing. We've been in a new era of marketing every year of my career, so I'm like desensitized to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, we're in a new era of marketing. That's fine. Check. What does this mean with a platform like Meta? Well, what it means is that Meta's getting smarter. Okay, cool. That's what they say. It gets smarter every day. Fine. Yeah. And how is it getting smarter? Well, it's getting smarter because the assets that we are giving the platform are what is dictating who they're showing ads to, right? Like it is dictating the back end of the entire thing. So if you take from that you should have a higher volume of creatives, and the difference is the background color of the product shot that you're showing, that is not the way to go. And Ben, we see that every single day, even with clients, even with our mastermind members, big companies that are doing very well. They think that volume means, slight variation. And that is absolutely not efficient. It does not work. It eats up your budget, and it tells Meta nothing, right? This is a stupid example, guys. There are many other examples of this, but what does changing the background color of an image tell Meta? It tells them absolutely nothing. It gives them no extra signals for context of who to show this ad to and why.
And think if somebody does convert on a blue rather than a yellow, that isn't telling you anything about that person. Like you're not learning anything about the avatar. The algorithm's not learning anything different, even though it thinks, okay, now blue is better, right? Like that doesn't tell you anything about the person.
No, and it's obvious, but for some reason this is not clicking in the marketplace that yes, the volume is important, but what's more important is the context and the signals you are giving Meta through your creative and through your offer. So changing the person, which I know we're going to talk about in part 2, changing the hooks, changing the background, the scenery, right? Literally changing the context of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Not just a bunch of random product photos with different variations. That is like 2010, right?
Totally.
Meta needs different inputs to give you different outputs. And yes, volume is important, but most people are multiplying shit, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Or they don't know where to start. They don't know how to actually achieve the volume in the first place. So I think this is a really important discussion, because you hear Meta, you hear all the gurus or whatever you want to call them in the space talking about creative volume. And I think you and I want to say, yes, that's important. And we are seeing that message steer a lot of people in the wrong direction. And like, how can we at Smart Marketer come here with our expertise, knowing where things are going, but meet you in the middle of, okay, all of this can be true, and how do you still get the results that you want to get, you know, in 2025 and moving into 2026?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really good. It is something that I think keeps coming up, where it's like, what's the next trick? What's the next button I can push in Meta? What's the next checkbox that should or shouldn't be unchecked? You know, when I launch my ads, it's going to improve the performance. And those things might have a small impact, but when you get into something like creative, we forget that we're just talking about people. It's just showing it, like when you give an ad set 20 different diverse creatives, Meta's not saying like, hey, these are going to magically convince people better to take up your offer. They're just going to find better, you know, more conversion oriented people to show it to. Guess what? It still has to convince them. It has to be different enough to convince them, to teach them this is the type of person, right? It's all about the people who are viewing it. And if you're not changing it in a way that would be significant for a person to make a decision or to not make a decision, then you're not teaching the algorithm anything new by who's accepting or who's declining your offer, right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's like, Ben, we're almost at this intersection right now of the old way of doing it, which is marketing that's been around a few hundred years, that you and I always, well, really been around since people were alive, that we love to discuss, that we won't bore people with right now, right? It is that meets AI, meets the new, meets, oh, I just need to load a bunch of shit up and Meta's going to print me money. And this is a really frustrating intersection for a lot of people. How are you keeping your team morale? Like, you know, you have this department of people, a good amount of people now, from operations and process to designers, editors, people that are really maintaining the look and feel of these creatives. How do you keep even just the team morale high? What are you telling them as we are at this intersection? That's
cool. I love this question. I have the biggest learning process over the last couple of years hasn't been with AI or hasn't been with creative. It's been over like myself and being a leader and like leading teams, right? And like figuring out people. And I think that to manage a team like this where we feel the pressure for sure as the creative department
daily.
I mean, it's like it just so happened that we got into, myself, like my career led to kind of a point where it's like I'm in the spotlight now. It's like creative is in the spotlight now. We're all in the spotlight. I think
that is wild. Actually, I want to come back to that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. I love to talk about it because we feel it. We definitely feel it. But sharing wins with everybody, sharing that an ad worked with the designer, it's like such a novel concept, right? But I think in this space in general, let's be frank, we outsource a lot of designing to all over the world. Yeah. And I think people, the tendency is to leave them out of the discussion, to leave them out of the team, to not have them join team calls because maybe it's late or maybe the time zone doesn't work, or maybe you just don't consider them as part of the team. Yeah. Like we need to be sharing, like I share with my team, like, hey, this is what's happening on Meta. Like this is what's happening in our accounts, because when they make an awesome creative that performs, they deserve credit for that. They came up with the final product that actually became the winning ad. Like, yeah, we had the idea or whatever, but if they just, you know, phoned it in and it wasn't good, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
They deserve credit for that. So we share the wins all the way up and down.
Yeah, I love that. And a lot of times they do have the idea, or they
Yeah,
did choose
absolutely.
the style, which we'll talk about in part 2 of this. I think something else you guys do well too is, more than any department, this is important in business and marketing period in the way that we do it, but more than any department, you guys are in a constant state of change, which can cause high level of stress, right? You accept that the way we are doing this right now, it's not going to be the same next week. It's definitely not going to be the same next month. And there almost is stability, I think, in accepting that this is so fluid. Do you feel that way?
Oh, on the good days. You know, on the good days you feel like that.
I think a lot of creative strategists that I talk to are entrepreneurs. Like a call I had this morning, he's like, I feel like I'm always chasing and trying to find this perfect, you know, way to do this.
Yeah.
And I've never found it. And I told him there is no perfect way to do this.
Yeah.
You are not going to find that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is something that I have substituted in my, because it is. The sand is shifting always, and you have to be adaptable. And it's like, you know, looking, now that I have a couple of years under the belt, it's like, oh, like I wasn't figuring it out then to have it figured out. I'm always figuring it out, and we're always finding something new. I get the instinct for that. And I literally, like, I work with my hands a lot after work, right? Like I build things, I do woodworking, because there's a right way to do that, right? Supplement your life. If that's something you're like, I need it, everybody needs it, get a hobby. Like marketing is not it's not. This is not the industry where you're going to feel super secure in what you're doing. And that's something I've learned from you, honestly. It's like, just be comfortable changing, and be comfortable saying, hey, like, as much as we loved the old way and we figured it out finally, like, enjoy that time while it's there and what you're doing is working, but you're going to have to, like, speed it up, or you're going to have to change something at some point. Be comfortable doing that. Is probably the best advice in this field.
And I think it's always pulling the things that have been working into the new, understanding the hype of whatever the industry is talking about, testing it, studying it, but it's always pulling these pieces together. I said we're at an intersection. We're really always at an intersection, which keeps this exciting.
Yeah.
But how do you feel, Ben? You know, you say, all right, even the word creative, that means a lot of different things to people, even specifically paid ad creatives. You all have always been important, right? Like, since I ran my first Meta ad in 2012, there's always been an image. There's always been a video. But every year, the level of importance has increased to where you all, other than product and other than offer, are literally the star of the show.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Because I think a lot of creative people, this is a big change, right? Where they used to be more of the artist in the background. It's like, now this is the currency of the future.
It is a lot of pressure. Honestly, I'd be lying if I said that we didn't feel the pressure. And I think that the answer to that is that you just have to invest. Like I said before, you have to invest more into your creative team now than you kind of ever have. It becomes inseparable from the success of your business as it relates to wherever you're putting out ads. Like, we've had so many conversations internally on the agency, and this is something that's been super hard to figure out, is what is the real difference between creative and media buying? How should we deal with clients that don't have the creative service, which is, you know, us actually producing ads for them, and clients that don't? Because guess what? They still need it too. We can't promise to come in and do better results if we're not putting in new creative. It's just not going to happen.
And, you know, that is a big initiative for us at Smart Marketer right now, which is exciting, where when we launched the agency, creative, you've always been siloed a bit. And there were reasons for that. We wanted it to be its own profit center. We wanted you to be able to build a team on your own, and you did that. And the clients you guys have worked with a lot of them don't even have media buying services,
Yeah.
right? It is literally building from scratch these creatives, whether they have media buying services with us or not.
Yeah.
And now we are moving into V2 of this, which is really exciting, where we are squishing your department into the greater system. And we will still have clients that pay extra for more in-depth creative production, right? Like the sourcing of content creators, there's so much that goes into that part that people will need to pay extra for.
Right.
But bringing you and the creative strategist more into the fold, where some baseline level of creatives are a part of the media buying service, how does that feel?
It's a lot. I mean, it is honestly a lot. The thing that I come back to though is kind of what you were talking about earlier, where the hype has changed. It's a new system, or it's a new platform or whatever. What hasn't changed is the direct response marketing skills, the people to people. Like literally, how do you create an emotional response in somebody that gets them to take an action that's good for them and that you want them to do? That hasn't changed. So when I show up to work, it's like almost like, hey, I know how to build houses. I know they need this type of insulation or this type of waterproofing. What's the new style people want today? How do I need to configure my mic's tipping over. How do I need to configure this house in a way that now is the new trend? Yes. But I know the fundamentals. I know that it needs a roof to keep water out. I know that it needs insulation, power, plumbing, etc. I know that at least to where whatever style of house we need to build, however many, how big or how small, we can change that.
God, that's such a good analogy. And for me, that is what has brought me stability my entire career.
Yeah, I think so.
Is knowing that fundamentally people are not changing that much. And we're a really good construction company, right?
I think so,
and
right.
we are fluid, and we are open to changing to the style of the time and to whatever a specific person or entity wants. But that at our core, what we know, that has not changed, and that will not change. And I think just to wrap up this higher level part of this before we go into part 2, I think that should bring all of you out there a lot of comfort, because especially years like this where a platform like Meta makes such a big change. You know, the last few months have been wild for most people on the platform. Then you layer on AI. Then you layer on tariffs and a bunch of economic uncertainty, and just being a human is kind of hard
for sure.
in today's world. And like, this can feel almost like, how the heck can I even do this?
Yeah.
And you can do it, right? You are doing it. We are doing it. And you know, people ask me a lot about leadership or team leadership. And the last few years, our biggest goal is to bring up managers and department heads, amazing people like you. And I think then people would think that most of our conversations are around direct response stuff. It's really not, right? Most of our conversation is mindset, stress levels, people management, and to address that, whether you are an agency or you are brand side, that is so important to discuss. And there is so much more to this than Meta's latest, Andromeda update. We will figure that out. You know how many updates we've dealt with? Not even worried about it.
Totally. Yeah.
Because we are always good direct response marketers, that does not change. And because we're willing to be open and say, we don't have it all figured out, and we never will, right?
Yeah.
And if you think you have it figured out, guess what? It's probably going to change tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So I think that mindset is what gets us through, and that's what I welcome everyone to adopt. Yes, the tactical stuff matters. Yes, we're always going to have that conversation. that's what people want to hear, but
Right.
I think this discussion here is what people actually need to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not that different. Like you said, it's not that different than any technological advancement that's come around. I mean, it just so happens the spotlight is on creative right now, but that doesn't change the fact that if you can talk to people and you can understand their emotions and get empathetic, then guess what? Like, you can market and you can sell to anybody. You can come up with any number of creatives once you figure out the production side. That's the easy stuff. So
yeah, and you do not need 200 ads a month
Yes.
to make this
Thank you
work.
for saying that.
So this has been such a fun high-level
Yeah.
conversation. Thanks for your contribution to Smart Marketer, our community. In the next episode, we are going to get more tactical, especially around the process. So
Yeah.
as we start to think about a higher volume of creative, the big question that comes up is, how the heck do I make that happen? What is the process around this? What is the SOP? How do we get this done? And that is what we're going to share in the next episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Ben.
Super glad to.
Thanks, y'all, for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.